First off, I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those elders and apostles out there from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, this your brother Dawaba from the branch of GMS here in Chicago, coming right back at you with a little lesson. And as you see on my phone screen here, I got integrative preparedness. The title of his video is Civil War Has Started. And he's, if you look at, I got it at the 7-minute mark because he said a few things that I just want to touch on, pretty much, but I got to about maybe 10 or 12 minutes of the video and he talks about a lot of stuff, if brothers just want to listen to it, he goes in on a few things, and he talks about leading up to it and reasons behind certain things. And, it might be just some good information once, if brothers want to listen to it. But at this 7-minute mark, it's just something that he says that I just want to touch up on because a lot of people, man, out here don't understand Civil War, the have and have-nots, insurrections, all that's coming. Race wars, that's going to come. But really, when it's going to really be Egyptian against Egyptian, these Edomites ready to go at each other, man. They see they society is crashing and crumbling down and they ready to go at, man, they ready to get busy, So with that, man, I'm going to sit up here and let him play. And like I said, this is the guy that you see on the screen is Steve Smith. A lot of times he does videos. A lot of times he brings out good information. A lot of times he just says things that's good for a lesson, good for a video. This particular time he just says something that's good for a video. And I do listen to him a lot. I recommend brothers probably subscribe to his page because, there are a lot of things he does say. He's an arrogant piece of shit. But there's many, many things that he does talk about and a lot of information he has brought out that I just find interesting. So with that, I'm going to let him talk for about a minute and 10 seconds, and then I'm going to grab some scriptures.
Yesterday, now, a couple of things that have been said. Several days ago, Musk said, this is the biggest revolution since the original American Revolution. And of course, what he was talking about was the works of Doge, right? And the changes that they're bringing about with the structure and the corruption of our government. Now, if you've heard me talk before about how civil wars often follow revolutions, and I've used the Irish situation as an example, a revolution will finally start, but then, as that happens, there's resistance from one or more parties, and it becomes actually a civil war because both sides are fighting for control over the same government. And you've heard me say this before if you've been...
So that's about it. He's sitting up here talking about, the governments are fighting for power. Now, we all understand that when you really look at it, it's going to be the interest. When the Civil War breaks out, when the have and have-nots break out, it's not going to be so much the governments against each other. It's going to be the people against the governments. It's going to be race wars. It's going to be all sorts of stuff, The government is sitting up here bringing in a lot of stuff. They're doing stuff to sit up here and set off Civil War, sit up here and set off race wars, sit up here and set off the have and have-nots and the insurrection. Because guess what? It's all about the M to the O to the T to the B. You need that chaos to bring in order. Chaos out of order. Order out of order ab KO. And I hope I said that right. But either way it goes, it's order out of chaos. But either way it goes, I'm gonna sit up here and just bring in some scriptures. But like he's sitting up here thinking about, hey, you talking about a civil war. He's talking about more with the Democratic Party and the Republican Party against each other. No. People tend to have to get that out their mind. They different wings on the same bird. The left and the right wing on the same bird. They're gonna fly the same way. I don't understand how people can sit up here and believe that these guys are divided amongst each other. Now, there might be some divisions individuals that might be against each other, but as a whole, the government is all working in tandem to bring around a new world order. And they're going to get a lot of people to sit up here and guess what? Do a lot of stupid shit. And that's going to bring in that chaos. And then they're going to bring in the order. But with that, man, let me just sit up here. The whole point that I really want to sit up here and get to is that civil war is coming. So the first scripture I want to sit up here and grab is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 1. This Habakkuk 2 and 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon a tower and will watch to see what he will say unto me and what I shall answer when I reprove. And the Lord thy power answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. And we're reading it right now. The men of the Lord. You know, beginning with the apostles on down. You know, we sitting up here preaching this truth and letting people understand, letting people know what's about to happen. You know, the prophecies that's been popping off the pages for quite some time now. And civil war is a big part of that. But this is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, and it's going to come. Civil war, the M to the T to the B, cannibalism, famine, all that's coming. Great death is coming. You know? And it ain't going to be, and we're not going to be out here preaching too long, telling you, hey, get right, or telling these heathen nations that, hey, your time is ending. We ain't gonna be out there too much longer. The writing is on the wall, as the saying goes, you know. But then, hey, what he said, civil war is gonna be the Egyptians against the Egyptians. But before I get that, let me get Matthew 12. This is Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And we all know, yeah, Yahushua was talking about them Pharisees and Sadducees back then. Wicked ass niggas. How much more Esau, Edom, the wicked? They're going to be against each other. You can see it already. You know, at my job today, I was sitting up here, one of the guys who work at my job came down and was pissed off. I mean, straight having a fit due to the stock market dropping 1,400 points. And guess what he said? That damn Trump, you know, all this shit, man, what the hell going on? You know, and he just having a fit. You know, you could see it. These motherfuckers, man, these Edomites ready to go at each other, man. They ready to go at each other's throat. You know, a lot of people sit up here and understand that Trump done sit up here and fed them a bunch of lies. And I hope he continue to do what he doing. Because the more he do what he do, hey, the kingdom right around the corner. The quicker this shit is over, the more he do what he does. You know? And like this guy Steve Smith said, that civil war has really already started. It just hasn't jumped to it just hasn't fully broke out. But the flames are fanning, man. Hey, it's fanning. And with that, let me sit up here and go over to Isaiah. Because hey, we already know. It says Isaiah 19 and 1. The burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. You know? And this is a end time prophecy. This is an end time prophecy. Egypt, when you sit up here and look in Revelations 11, you'll sit up here and see that America, Babylon the Great, is compared to Sodom and Egypt, the spiritual Sodom and Egypt, you know, due to the idolatry, due to the hardcore bondage that we've been in, due to the sexual immorality. America is full of it. Full of it. And he said he's going to come with them clouds, them chariots. And how's this place going to burn? Nuclear fire, nuclear warheads, and them chariot fire. But here's the point. This is Isaiah 19 and 2. And I will set Egyptian against Egyptian, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. You know, and that's what's about to sit up here and happen, man. You're going to see a lot of people go. You're going to see a lot of these Edomites going at each other's throat. Hey, that doesn't mean civil war, because Jacob's trouble is going to be a big part of everything, too. But Jake going to get busy, but Jake going to be getting destroyed, too. But there's going to really be a lot of these motherfucking Egyptians, man. I mean, a lot of these, well, you know, Egyptians against Egyptians, these Edomites. A lot of them going to be at each other's throat, man. You know, them have and the have-nots, the ones that believe in Trump, the ones that don't believe in him. It's going to be a lot of cutthroat out here, you know, and it's coming. Civil war is right around the corner. Right around the corner. It's going to come. It's going to come quick and hard, too. You know, and we can't wait. You know, I'm going to read 3. This is Isaiah 19:3. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to idols and to charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to wizards. Yeah. Everything is going to sit up here and fall in this place. The idol worship and everything. The counsel is terrible. You know, here these motherfuckers stupid. You know, everything they sit up here and do, everything they sit up here and done. You know, they could have did a lot of things to sit up here and control the economy. But guess what? Esau does what he does. Greed. But it's all through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. You know, it's easy for you to sit up here and correct the shit that you're doing. But guess what? He don't want to do that. He want to sit up here and continuously do what he do because greed. They want to bring in that order. They want to bring in that power to sit up here and be like Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They want to be like God. They're going to find out they just men. And they're going to find out the hard way. You know. But insurrection, all that stuff, man. Civil war, all that is coming. With that, let me sit up here and go to second address. 15. This is second address 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For that shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in the power. And that's what's going to happen, man. Civil war. Have and have nots. Nations war. Jacob's trouble. A whole lot of chaos. A whole lot of death. A whole lot of destruction. All that's coming. You know. And guess what? The prophets out there warning and letting people know. The heathens, the Gentiles, our people, 2/3, the elect. Which all we care about really is the elect anyway. You know. But we're going to let, hey, but the 2/3, hey, you got to hear it. There ain't going to be no cloak for your sins. I ain't hear it, no. The heathens, we're going to let know, and especially the Edomites, we let them know that your kingdom is coming down hard. You know. It ain't going to be no soft landing. You're going to crash and burn hard. And keep burning. You know. I read 17, 18. This second address 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to, and that's going to be that martial law. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of that out there. A lot of you tough guys, a lot of you young niggas who think you tough, about to be pissing in your pants. I'm tough. I get a gun. Yeah, you're about to be fucked up. A lot of you YNs about to be fucked up. You're about to find out what fear is. You're about to find out what toughness is. You're about to find out who real killers are. And Esau Edom. His blessing was the sword. You can't sit up here and fight a motherfucker whose blessing was the sword. This second address 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and great tribulation. Yes, sir. That's all coming. You know, destroying their houses with the sword. The sword is the modern day gun. Spoiling their goods, and part of that spoil is going to be your women, your moms, your daughters, your wives, your sisters. Hey, when these motherfuckers come for the food and come for the goodies, they coming for them too. And especially a lot of you women out there that are fucked over dudes. These guys coming. In many ways. You know. But it's just a matter of time. Hey, but with that, I hope this was edifying. I'd like to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to those elders and apostles out there from Great Millstone who teach and rule well. A lot of respect to you brothers out there on the highways and byways preaching this truth around the four corners of the earth. And salutations to the hopeful elect that you guys may be sealed soon. And with that, I always say stay prayed up, brothers. Pray for each other because we're almost up out of here. So with that, I like to say Kwam Yasharella and Abba Ball. And Ayahabatham Malakyam. Shalom.